my mind is playing tricks on me, therefore I'm always right. People say that happiness is a choice, but I can never make up my mind. And I know I'm getting older, 'cause now I'm old enough to remember being younger. And now I reminisce about nostalgia, 'cause it used to be better. What if the good old days never happened, but we just don't remember? The future's running late. This trip down memory lane is taking us forever. I always hear people say that money can't buy happiness. But what if I paid them off? Maybe then they'd finally shut up about it. And nothing would make me happier. Don't bother to explain. It'll just go in one ear and right out the other. I don't know anything, but I think therefore I am, or well, at least I think so. I am so totally vain. I probably think this song is about me, even though it's vague. But enough about Carly Simon, let's talk about me. I used to have a plant. It was a rescue. When I got it, it was all sunburned. But now it's dead. It actually took its own life. I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't even home. Back from a 3-week vacation, and I found it lying there lifeless. I might have been able to save it, but I spent a lot of time looking up how to perform CPR on a plant. Apparently you're just supposed to breathe on them. I did suspect foul play at first. Then I found the suicide note. It said, "You never take me anywhere nice anymore. I wanted to be a dancer." Then I thought about the irony of a plant suicide note being written on paper. I wondered how a plant could even write anything without hands. So I turned the note over, and on the back it said, "Dictated but not read." So I buried my dead plant in a pet cemetery. Later, it rose from the grave. I was so terrified I immediately killed it before it had a chance to kill me first. So now I have a fake plant. But you can't even tell, it looks very realistic. All the leaves are wilted and brown. My friend came over the other day.
Media, everybody, it is Monday night. We are doing this If you're joining not in the Zoom, you missed it. Kamala Harris was here doing a warm-up set because she heard that our show was so much funnier than the Comedians for Harris show last week. That was our major competition. Thank you all that joined us last week instead of going to that show. We ask for money way less frequently. I still ask for money, but probably about 1/10 of the times. Hello, everybody joining on Twitch. Good to see you. Glad you are here. Everybody on YouTube as well. Welcome. This is a new show being broadcasted on YouTube. We are new to the tube. I just found out about YouTube from our tech guy Jay. Jared just told me about YouTube last week. It's a really cool thing. There's a lot of videos. It's going to take me a while to watch them all. I'm really busy these days. We got a good show tonight. Aaron Caminos Smith is here. Jack Allen is returning. Pratik Srivastava will be appearing. He promised he will be at neither a bus station, an Uber, or a comedy club, which were the 3 locations he performed at last week. I took screenshots and sent it to him, and he was like, Jesus Christ, because he didn't even know what it looked like to everybody. I'll be posting pictures there. Yes, please donate to Comedy Hub. If you liked what you saw, we'll take your donations very much so. Not quite Obama. Okay. The vice president and current presidential candidate is funny. I'm going to challenge her to a debate and then a roast, and then we're going to roast each other on Chirping Bird the night before the election. That's what Jay told me. Jay said the night before the election this year, she's going to be on the show. She probably won't. She probably won't show up. I'll send the invite. That's one of my favorite things to do is when you get text messages or this is what happened in 2020. Joe Biden would send a text message being like, hey, it's Joe. Like, I need to raise money, malarkey, and all this stuff. And then I was like, hey, I'll donate to your campaign if you sign up for my open mic. And I sent a spreadsheet or I sent a Google form to sign up for my open mic. And then he just got a response, which I know was not Joe Biden, but was either a person or a computer, said, Mark, are you a Trump supporter or something? And I was like, I don't know how you got that from open mic, but he didn't sign up. He didn't show up. He got me. I was a Trump. No, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not even going to say that anymore. He's back on Twitter, though. He's back on Twitter these days. He's flying in his old comfortable plane that was owned by Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, whatever. He's flying that plane around. I don't know if you've seen that. He can't land his plane in most airports anymore because he doesn't pay for gasoline, which is like the coolest thing for someone that keeps saying the country's just going to drill for more gas just to pay off his airplane fuel bill. That's why he needs to be president for the money, just the salary, the $400,000 salary. That's all he's in it for at this point. You know what? And if he wins, I hope he just takes his salary and golfs every weekend. That would be fine with me. He can't do any more damage on the golf course that he didn't already do to his ex-wife on the golf course. That's where he does all his family bonding. It's great. Apparently he's not bad at golf. So I'm going to encourage that career shift. We should encourage that. More days off for the president. That's what, as soon as he wins, let's all support it. Write your congressman. President works 10 days a year if he wins. That's what we're going to do. This got no political show. Do we have to are we going to lose our nonprofit classification for what I'm saying right now? I don't know. We're going heard he cheats at golf. His wife is Melania. She's not named Golf. All right. Anyways, he cheats on his wife Melania. That's a good one. Why wouldn't he cheat at golf? I mean, he does. I know. Why wouldn't he? Why would you not cheat at golf if you were the president and a complete asshat? If no one believed anything you were ever saying anywhere, and fine, I cheat at mini golf. I will admit that. But I'm barely the host of this show. That is as far as I got politically, is hosting this show. Nikki, good to see you. I hope you all had a fun time watching the Olympics, and the closing game, or the closing ceremony, was last night, which was wild because there's Tom Cruise who's like 60, and that's fine. But then they had Snoop Dogg, who's not too young either, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was basically California from the 90s on, which was pretty nostalgic for many of us. But I don't know if everyone's going to be around for 2028. I don't really know if we should be banking on it too much. Let's just do a kind of a rain check, and maybe we'll see you there if the earthquakes stop. If they stop, because there was 2 in Los Angeles today. I don't know. Anthony Kiedis, how do you say his name? Kiedis? He's the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's 60 years old, and his girlfriend is 20. And many people think that's pretty weird. That's pretty messed up. But it all makes sense because he had to date someone young enough to not remember that his music sucks. That's what, like, you remember the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If you're over the age of 20, you'll realize they suck. And then he could only date people that don't know his music. That's what it's coming down to. Oh, okay. There we I'm anti Red Hot Chili Peppers. The bar I run my shows at, we have a sign that says no Red Hot Chili Peppers. We are against them all the way. Did anyone here watch any of the sporting events? Anyone watch the sports in the last 2 weeks? You did. What was your favorite sport to watch? Question mark. Hold on. We'll do it on 3. 3, and then say what your favorite sport was. 3, 2, 1. Pole vaulting with your dick.
Women's soccer.
Okay, it took him like way too.
No, I like stuttered on my words.
No, you changed your mind. You were going to say pole vaulting with the penis. I don't know if you saw that. There was a pole vaulter from France. He was doing a pole vault and he was going to get a record. Nikki said she watched the highlights. I guarantee this made the highlights. He was going for it. It was his Olympic dream. He's been training his whole life for this. And then on the way down, his dick knocked off the horizontal pole, and then he was disqualified. And then company offered him $250,000 to star in a porn, which is so messed up because his life is going through all these turns and no one's going to take him serious or anything. These are problems most people shouldn't have. These are problems. I'll tell you, that's a problem he created himself. He could have just simply been born with a small penis like myself. That's what he could have done. It wouldn't be a problem for guys like us, right? Question mark. There you go. No, question mark. He's not going to clap for that one. I like it. There was there's a lot of crazy shit. I got called the ray gun of the Chicago comedy scene, and I didn't know what that meant until I watched the video. And now I think I can't go out in public anymore. That's what somebody called me last night. Those of you that don't know, that was a lady from Australia who heard about breakdancing and then got into the Olympics to do it. That's like somebody not explaining the rules of water polo to me, and then I'm in the Olympics, which is what we're going to do in 2028. We're going to do it. I'm going to train for. There's a lot of new sports coming up too. Question mark. Do you know what the new sports coming up are? You don't know what the new sports in 2028 are?
No.
Cricket's going to be in. Cricket's going to be in. The Olympics are only 2 weeks long. I don't know how they're going to do that. That is not going to work out. That is the longest fucking sport, singular game you could ever.
I'm thinking they should add cliff diving.
Cliff diving, that sounds good. They could do. I don't really see a big difference between that and just regular diving, but I think that spices it up a little, right? That makes it a little bit more scenic, a little bit more dangerous. I think we do need to add more danger. I like the Winter Olympics because that's the only Olympics that combines shooting with something else. It combines shooting with getting away from the shooting. I don't know if you've ever seen that. The winter biathlon is shooting a gun and cross-country skiing. I think we could add guns to just about every single sport in the Olympics. And
it's a rifle, too.
It is a rifle. It is a great sport.
It's not a semi-automatic, but it's a rifle.
Shooting and fleeing. Brandon, what would be the charge if I just went out in the middle of winter in Chicago and did the winter biathlon by myself? What would be the charge? Would it be, I want to know, would it be aggravated discharge of a firearm? I want to know because come winter, we're going to have the Chirping Bird Winter Olympics. I hope you all are ready for that. I'm taking a drink real quick.
Should this go on your usual bill, or do you want this specially billed to a project? I'll put 2 associates on it right now.
Take it from the campaign fund. Take it. There's always something in the coffer. You're good. You're good. I can't land in anywhere in Montana anymore, but that's for me and the regional airports to settle. That's what we're doing. They should allow anyone to box whoever the fuck they want. Is my take on that. I want to see men punching children. I want to see three guys beating up a cow. I don't care anymore. Just if you want to do combat sports, if everybody wants to fight, that's how it should be. Is combat sports should be really. That's how we should settle wars. The Olympics, they were onto something. There was a thing called not trial by ordeal. I can't remember what they used to call it when they used to, instead of fight battles, because it's really costly. In the ancient Americas, they would just send one representative. They would send their most badass person.
Combat.
Yeah, war by combat, and then the other people would send their most badass person, and then they would all gather around and probably get drunk and bet on it. But then if you lost, they just killed all the losers' army. They just slaughtered them. That's how they did it. It's very cost efficient. It's very cost efficient. So what I'm saying is the U.S. would take over the world. That's what we're doing. We got the most gold medals. Go USA. We're going to get this started out. If you have any questions, question mark asked me a question earlier. I'll field questions. I don't give a shit. I'll do it during my portion as well. But I'm going to kick this off with the first comedian because he had to go up early and he's got a busy night ahead of him. Please welcome Aaron Caminos Smith.
Hello, everybody. Yes.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I spotted.
There it is. There's the spotlight. I'll do it from gallery. I don't mind. I'll do it as one of the people. That is how we should do stand-up comedy, is we sit in the back of the room and they just hand us the microphone in the very back of the room. And we just do the jokes from back there. And we basically heckle the back of the audience's head. This is fun. Thank you for having me. I did watch a lot of Olympics, and I decided I don't have anything clever to say about it. I was actually just enjoying it. I do remember during the Winter Olympics, the first Winter Olympics, that curling was a sport. I was at a show at a bar, and we were in the back room of the bar, and we had like 2 audience members when curling was on. You guys remember when curling wasn't cool, when it was like a joke? We were like, this is ridiculous, that like it was before hipsters liked it. I am surprised we don't see more hipsters curling, by the way. And everybody was watching curling. 2 audience members at the show. And I was like, wow, we are less interesting than curling. That's where my career was. And career still is. What am I saying? If you guys want to know how my day is going, let's just say I'm wearing glasses instead of my contacts. So that's how my day is going. Also, I still have the t-shirt from my daughter's 2-year birthday party with a panda on it. I normally would put on a normal t-shirt without a fun image on it. We're having a good time. Mike's having a good time. I haven't seen Mike at a show in a while. There we go. I got Mike to look down at the show. And there's a smile. All right. Sometimes I never know with Mike and Mr. Eckert over there. This was fun. A lot of you, I feel, know me from Living Room Show. So some of these jokes, you've already heard them. That means it's like when we watch the original Top Gun for like the 4078th time, and you're just like, ooh, I didn't remember that exact one word. So that's what this will feel like. My comedy is the brilliance that is the script of the original Top Gun. I think that's what I just compared myself to. Let's do it, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I live in New York City. Very expensive here in New York City. Got to have roommates to get by. I think you all know that. I've already ruined this joke from saying that I have a daughter, but that's okay. We'll just pretend you didn't know that about me. Or, when living in New York City, is to slowly decrease the number of roommates that you have. In fact, you can actually tell how well someone is doing in New York based on how few roommates they have. It's like an inverse relationship, right? The fewer the roommates, the better you're doing. I'm doing pretty well. I am down to just 1 roommate. Ooh. For this joke. I don't think I can get rid of this one, though, because it is my wife. So she pays her rent on time. We'll keep her around. Technically, it's 2 roommates now. There's also my 2.5-year-old daughter. That's the other roommate. And neither of them pay rent. It's ridiculous. I will say my wife and I, we were together for 10 years before we got engaged. Some people think that is a very long time for getting engaged, and I call those people my grandmother. This is the grandmother on the Jewish side of my family. She was 90 years old when she first met my wife. And after about a year of us dating, no wedding in sight, she actually pulled me aside and she said this to me. She said, "You know, Aaron, I'm almost 91 years old." I'd like to see a wedding before I die. It's like, wow, not subtle at all, very aggressive, but I flipped it on her. I said, oh, well, Grandma, why don't you stick around a little longer? See what happens next year. Guys, that worked for 10 years. I kept Dorothy Smith going. That's totally true. My grandmother made it to almost 101 years old.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah, that is impressive. I know. Jews live a really long time when you let us. All right. The marks like that one. We just keep on going. Sorry, I should have asked. Nazis in the room? Any Nazis just looking around? I do remember when we got the call from my dad that morning, and I hung up the phone and I turned to my wife and I was like, oh, "It's Grandma. We lost Grandma." She said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Do they know what happened?" I was like, "Well, she was almost 101 years old. I don't want to jump to conclusions, so why don't we wait to see what the police detectives have to say?" She had a lot of enemies at that assisted living place. All right. We really don't know. So let's see. No, I really have no idea how she survived as long as she did, considering all she ate was like one cookie a day. Like that was it. Just one cookie, tiny sip of water, by the way. I don't know what it is about all these old ladies. They never drink water. They have like one little, maybe two sips. Like you go to pour her some water. She's like, that's enough. That's enough. Don't overdo it. Like she'd yell at you when you go to pour her water. I don't understand why. Like they never drink water, constantly thirsty. When you're at the movie theater, you hear that lady behind you like crinkling with the cough drop. You think they have a sore throat and they're like crinkling and they can't get it open with the hard candy. And it's like, you don't have a sore throat. You just haven't had a full glass of water in like 2 months. Like that's it. You're just thoroughly dehydrated, constantly getting UTIs. All these old ladies just never drinking water, barely eating any food, by the way. Just that one cookie. I think every week she was shrinking, just getting smaller week after week. My grandmother just got smaller and smaller. All these old women constantly getting smaller and smaller. I don't think old ladies actually pass away. I just think they shrink to the point where we can't see them anymore. I think everyone's great grandmothers are in the room with you right now. You just don't know it. They're tiny. They're stuck in your computer keyboard. Don't get that can of air that you're going to spray it out. Don't do it. You're going to spray away your great grandmother because she's in there. But yeah, she's my grandmother. She was Dorothy Smith. That was her. I don't know if you guys heard. I have a hyphenated last name. It's Aaron Caminos Smith. My parents each kept their last names when they got married, and they gave me both because just being short was not enough to deal with. This is it. This is my full name, and I don't know why they'll ask me about my name, and they'll be like, "Aaron, you got a hyphen. Why didn't you just pick one last name? Why didn't you just go with one?" I'm always like, "Well, I don't know how all of you were named, but I did not name me." When I was a little tiny newborn baby, I had other thoughts and concerns going through my head. I couldn't plan ahead to the future. When you're 6 seconds old, the first time you hear it, you're just like, "Oh, hold on, mommy, hold on. This is delicious, by the way." But what was that a hyphen that I just heard? That is no good. No. Many years from now, when I'm going to pick up my prescription at the drugstores, there's going to be mass confusion over which name is it under. Caminos, if it's under Smith, if it's spelled with a C, if it's spelled with a K. Like that is no good. Like you can't plan ahead when you're a little tiny baby. All right. You don't have that kind of foresight when you still have your foreskin. All right. You don't. Jews in the room. Where are we? Jew? What? Yeah. What? Bobby? Jew? No. Okay. Just asking. I love doing that foreskin joke wherever I go, and not trying to brag, but I do travel to a lot of colleges and do comedy. Frequently, I get asked to do comedy at small Baptist colleges in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why. I think they want to know what a Jew looks like. I'm always like, this is it. We're small. We complain a lot. We're kind of furry. Hopefully, we're funny. I was in the middle of nowhere, Indiana, at a small Baptist college. I did that joke. Foresight, foreskin. No one laughed. this one guy in the back, he goes, I get it. It's a circumcision joke. I get it. I had to talk to him and find out how he knew so much about circumcision. He said he wrote an entire research paper on circumcision because he was a religious studies major, not just because he was really interested in circumcision. And it was kind of funny because I asked him how long the paper was. He said it was a 13-page paper. And I was very proud of myself because in that moment, I actually turned to him and I was like, wow, 13 pages. That's impressive. Was it always 13 pages or was there a rough draft that was maybe more like 14, 15 pages? And then you did some editing. Maybe you trimmed a little down off the introduction. Yeah, he did not get that. All right. He did not, probably because he didn't audibly tell me. I think that's what it is. I do like traveling. So not too many Jews in the audience. Some Jews, a few Jews, a couple looking around. Yeah, I see Brandon's giving me a little head. Maybe, which is the correct answer. You have a lot of words for people who are not Jewish. Nothing mean or offensive. It just means not Jewish. We've got like Gentile, Goy, Shiksa, athletic, right? There's so many words. Just means not Jewish. That was a new one for Brandon, I think. I guess the question is how Jewy do I go with the rest of this? Which direction do I go? I never know. Sometimes when there are very few Jews, or at least very few Jews in the audience who are willing to admit it, I'm like, I'm going to double down and get into very specific jokes about the ultra-Orthodox community here in Brooklyn. Or I'm like, stay away from the Jews like the rest of you like to. I'm not really sure which direction to go when it comes to Jews. We lost Edward. That's it. Now we never know. As long as Jinda's here, as long there's been no references, like nothing said like Jew penis, like that wasn't typed in the chat. And then I would have had to been like, technically Jinda, Jew circumcised penis. This is like the one time where everything that Jinda writes would be incredibly appropriate. Real missed opportunity. I think, did we lose? Oh no, Jinda's here.
Virtual Jinda, I think.
Yeah, I think is that a Jinda avatar or is that? Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm question mark. I'll leave that alone. It is funny how like as Jews we get like very protected, like the ultra Orthodox like Jewish community. Like if you make fun of them, we're just like, hey, don't say that about the Jews. But then like, as someone who they don't consider Jewish, like I just look and I'm just like, ugh, they're gross. Like it's funny because like we have our own very specific. It is funny, like as a Jew, and all religions are actually like this. Everyone is very judgmental of any other version of your own religion. Like your level of the religion is the correct amount. You see someone a little more Jewish, and I'm just like, those guys are way too Jewish. Like they're extremists. That's nuts. Right. But then I see someone who's like a little less Jewish, and I'm like, barely a Jew. All right. That is not Jewish at all. Go celebrate Christmas. All right. I will see you next year during Easter. Like that doesn't count. Right. It's like these guys are way too Jewish. Those guys are not Jewish enough, but my level of Jew is just right. Right. It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Or should I say Goldstein and she's eating locks with three bears, spelled BEHRS. That was a deep Jew reference right there. We're doing it. We're going there. How much more time? 45 more minutes? Got it.
9.
Perfect.
45.
So so you guys heard I've got this hyphen in my name. And it's interesting because when my wife and I got married, we learned something about this country, which is that if a woman takes a man's name directly, all you need to do to change her last name and change her name officially is just sign a piece of paper. Like, it's that simple. But if you don't exactly change the last name, it is way more complex than that. My wife did not take my full last name. She didn't take the Caminos-Smith. She went with just the Caminos, which is my mom's side. So she just took Caminos as the last name, but because it wasn't exactly the same as my last name, we had to go to Brooklyn Civil Court to officially change her last name. We had to go plead her case in front of a judge. It's pretty messed up that we make women do that. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Brooklyn Civil Court, but it is many floors, many courthouses, many cashiers, utter chaos and confusion in that building. I learned in Brooklyn Civil Court that if you stand still for more than 5 seconds, a line will just form behind you. Right? It is so confusing in there. I had a great time. My wife was like off at some window paying some cashier, and I would just start standing still in the middle of the hallway, wait for them and be like, see you, everybody, and then I would just take off. Everyone there is left like, look, this is not the line for window 504. I'm like, nope, so long, suckers. I'm gonna get in this elevator that's 1,000 years old. It was fun. We had a really fun time changing her last name. It is officially changed, but it is interesting that Caminos is my mom's last name, and people will ask me if that is her maiden name. It's like kind of a weird question because like it was her name when she was single, before she was married, like it is her name, even though she is married. I feel like that phrase maiden name is kind of weird. I don't know why we use it. Why are we calling unmarried single women maidens? It's not some like medieval England and there's some fair maidens in distress who need to be rescued. I don't know why we call them that. That whole phrase just sounds like way too old timey and aggressive. Like all I hear when you ask me if that's her maiden name is some like creepy chauvinistic old man who's just like, oh, what was that? What was your mother's maiden name? Which was her name on maiden voyage? On the first time she traveled through life. Which was that unmarried, worthless bitch's name? It's just way too aggressive. All right, I think we need to stop. I think we shouldn't be using that phrase anymore. We don't need to call unmarried women maidens. I think the only people who should be allowed to use that phrase are other unmarried single women. I say take that phrase back, make it your own word, start calling each other maiden. How about that? I think that's turning a negative into a positive. You see another single lady across the street, be like, hey, what's up, my maiden? Maiden, please. Like that is your word. All right, go for it. You guys got it? Brandon's got it. All right. This is fun. We're having a fun time. This is a great show. It's an audience almost full of dudes. It's great. The dudes have the cameras on. I know it's not all dudes, but it's fun. We're having a good time. I like it. Anton said dudes use milord and milady. Is that what you mean? Milord and milady. Yeah, that's definitely interesting use of apostrophe. I live here in New York City, and I don't know. People think we're rude here in New York. Do you guys think we're rude and that we're mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the problem is like, see, here's the thing. Like we're nice. Like last week, I gave 2 different groups of tourists directions to the subway. I was running late, and I still helped them. I gave them directions. I think it's a nice thing to do. If anyone tells you New Yorkers are rude, you can tell those people to go fuck themselves, because that is shit.
Exactly.
You get where I'm going with that. I think we are nice. We try to do the right thing in New York. The problem is when we try to do the right thing and be safe and helpful, we somehow mess it up. This is when I realized that over in Manhattan, there's a school for people who are visually impaired. In Midtown Manhattan, they wanted to make it safer for them to cross the street. So what they did was, instead of just a walk, don't walk sign, they recorded someone's voice telling you which street has a green light. Sounds like a good idea, sounds a lot safer. The problem is the guy they got to do this recording is like the most New York sounding retired firefighter kind of guy, who just sounds angry in the recording. Like when you go to push the button to cross the street, all you hear now is like, safe to cross 23rd Street. It's safe to cross 23rd Street. It's like, is it? Like, is it really safe? Like, do I trust this guy? Yeah, it's safe, I freaking swear. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, there's a coming. Oh, what are you, blind? It's like, yes, that is exactly it. I think you got it. By the way, question mark, please watch the closing doors. Oh no, it's stand clear of the closing doors. It's a command to get the hell out of the way of those doors because you're going to slow us all down. That's what it is. I will happily correct anyone with what they think they know about New York City. I will do it. I just feel like New York is like, it's interesting because nothing bothers us in this city. We've just seen everything. Like, it all just seems normal. This is when I realized how nothing will ever bother us in New York is many, many years ago. This is true. There was a dead shark on the subway. I don't know how it got there. Not some like giant, like great white shark where like the doors had closed, but like the flippers were sticking out, and like just like a very small shark. I think it washed ashore in Coney Island, and a couple of pranksters were like, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's put this on an F train." And you got us, pranksters. I don't know how the shark got on there. It didn't have any thumbs. It couldn't have swiped its Metro card, so someone must have put it on there. The weird part is not that there was a dead shark on the subway. The weird part is that this shark was on the subway for 3 hours before the conductor picked it up and threw it in a garbage can. All right, like that's what made me realize New Yorkers don't care. Nothing would bother us. People would walk into that train and been like, "Oh yeah, so I'm going to see you on Wednesday." Whoa, 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 whoa! There's a dead shark right here. There's a dead shark. That is really scary. That is ridiculous. Hey, look, hey guys, empty seat. Someone just got up. This is really cool. What are we talking about? I don't remember. I got a seat. This is great. That seat was wet. Okay. Oh man, I feel like this has turned into the Aaron show. I think I'm in 4th or 5th year right now. I'm not sure exactly, but it's definitely. I feel like I kind of went straight into 4th or 5th gear. All right, guys, big finish. How do we want to do this? No, we did that one. That. All right, this joke never does well, but let's see how it goes. I feel like in comedy, sometimes my GPS is making fun of me. Like, trust me, I get to do a lot of great shows. Not all shows are as amazing as this awesome one where I get to just sit here in my chair in my apartment. You have to drive to a lot of pretty crappy comedy gigs. And, you know, you'll be following the GPS. It takes hours to get there. And like sometimes you'll be like out in the middle of nowhere, like Pennsylvania or something. You're on some tiny 2-lane road. You've been zigzagging for like a half an hour. And you're just like, we're in the middle of the woods. How is there going to be a comedy show? This can't possibly be good. And your GPS says you're like a minute away. And you're like, I don't know what I'm going to perform to deer. This is ridiculous. And then you see like, oh, I think I see a small bar in the clearing up here. And you're like about to exit. And you realize it says your destination is on the right. And you're just like, wow, these are a lot of pickup trucks. There are very few Jews here. This is not going to be a good show. They've got that like flashing arrow sign out front where they can replace the letters. And it says Amity show tonight because the C fell off. And you're just like, oh, this is not going to be good. And then you start to pull off the road onto that gravel parking lot. You know that sound your wheels make when you go from pavement to gravel. And you're just like, it got so loud in this car, but I'm barely moving. How is it so loud in here? And that is when my GPS will be like, you have arrived. I'm like, all right, GPS, can you spare me the sarcasm about where my career is right now? You know what? I think I'm doing just fine. I got to do over 20 minutes on Chirping Bird Comedy. All right. I know things are going really well. I've decided that I have arrived. Everybody, that is my time. You guys are an absolutely amazing crowd. Thank you so much, Mark, for having me on here. And thank you, question mark, for being amazing. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Aaron,
good night, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah,
Great
one more
job,
time
Aaron.
for Aaron Camino Smith. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for hopping on tonight. Glad to have you back on the bird. I'm going to keep this rolling. We're just going to keep rolling to our next comedian. Super happy to have him back on the show. Another returner, a return appearance. He's a Chicago comedian. I will post his social medias. You should follow him so you can see what he's up to. You can see what he's up to on Instagram and TikTok. I'll put, he has it right there. He has it up there. So you'll see it on the screen in 1 second right when I highlight his video. But please welcome Jack Allen.
Howdy, hello. What's going on? Are you guys ready for some public word speakings that'll be humorous straight to your face? Yeah, oh yeah, we're ready? Oh yeah, well I got the juice that I'm slinging all over the place. Oh man, that came out. I'm riffing. I'm ready, riffing it up to get this started. All right, let's hear one of these old zingers from the back of my head. You guys familiar with this trope of like three kids stacked on top of each other in a trench coat?
Yeah.
I don't really like that trope. The main reason is because of that trope. I can't wear a trench coat. Nobody believes that I'm an adult man. They just think that I'm multiple ugly children. But I have to prove that I'm a real adult, so I take off the trench coat. Then I remember I'm not wearing anything under the trench coat. Things are pretty good. You know, we're keeping things spicy. I look young. I'm 27. I look about my age, I'd say. But if I grow a beard, I look a lot older. Like a beard adds 10 years, and it's not a good 10 years. For me, a beard adds 3 layoffs, a divorce, and 2 DUIs. Yeah, guys, there's one thing that I'm sick of. It's cancel culture. Yeah, I'm tired of this cancel culture. Yeah, I think that we should get rid of it. Maybe replace it with something else like canon culture.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. From now on, if you do anything problematic, you get shot out of a cannon. All right. You make racist tweets, guess what? Cannon. You assault someone, it's cannon time. Jaywalking? Why not? Welcome to the circus. I bombed this bit, it's canon for me. No one is safe from becoming fodder to the cannon. We shall all become cannon feed in the annals of time. So, you know, things are crazy. I have this problem where I keep mixing up ASMRs with SSRIs. So because either way I go, I end up pretty chill. I don't know. I've been trying to have some fun. Last year I went to Burning Man. I don't know. I didn't really care for it though, because I just didn't like the part where the man was screaming, "I'm not a witch!" Surrounded by townsfolk with pitchforks. He did burn well though. A nice mesquite flavor. I don't really like music festivals. You know, I don't need to pay several $100s to go to a park and do drugs. Just give me a nice Tuesday afternoon, an empty playground, and a tank of nitrous oxide. I'm a happy boy. All these rappers have been beefing with each other this year. All these rappers are beefing. How come rappers are never porking? But if I were all these rappers, whenever they beef, they always beef with another rapper. It's not what I do. If I was a rapper, I'd just beef with like a regular guy. I just go and find like an insurance salesman in Toledo off LinkedIn. He's got no sick bars. All right, I'd drop a mad diss. He'd be destroyed. He'd have to switch genres, like become an accountant. I don't know. He would be rendered utterly helpless by such a predicament. I got a weird notification on my phone. I got a notification that my grandma joined Snapchat. And the biggest problem with that is that my grandma has been dead for 3 years. But I figured what happened was like, you know, her old phone number's been disconnected. So whoever like has her old phone number, like created an account. So, but it's still in my contacts as her. So it shows up as her. But I had to get on there and send a message just to be sure. I was like, "Grandma, is that you? I thought you were dead." And you know what? She responded. She was like, "I am alive in Lithuania. Love you very much, granddaughter. Please wire me $2,000 United States."
Okay.
So I hope she spends the money well. You like gardening?
Yeah.
Man, I don't trust dudes with mustaches. I don't, because they always look like they're someone else in disguise. It's like, what's really behind that thing? Osama bin Laden? I don't, there's a lot of things I don't understand. I don't understand like the phrase elephant in the room because like I know what it's supposed to like mean, the phrase the elephant in the room, but like there's never been an elephant in a room. That's not, go like a regular sized door is too small for an elephant, and like a big sized door is still too small for an elephant. These elephants are pretty big. They're elephant size, and it's not like they have reasons to go to a room all the time. It's not like they have like a day job in the room that they're good. There's if it's only like once or twice that elephant would ever have a reason to go to the room, they could just zoom in. Like it's that's a new really smart thought. I want you to know comedians are the modern day stenographers. So I went to a bar and they had ice in the urinal, and that seems pretty wasteful. Yeah, that's me. I mean, the polar ice caps are melting. We only have so much ice left. But I kind of wonder if maybe there's a reason where we have ice in urinals. And I think it's because we're trying to avenge the victims of the Titanic. It's like, we're just pissing in ice like, take that, ice. You did the 9/11 of the sea. So, a lot of, like the people who are like against abortion, they'll say like life begins at the moment of conception. And I don't know about that, because in my experience, life ends at the moment of conception, because everything has gone downhill since I left my dad's ball sack. Every day just used to be a pool party with the boys. Now I got to pay taxes. It's ridiculous. That was a warm up for this next sperm joke. Okay, make sure you guys are cool. So our sperm counts are going down, fellas. They are. Oh. And it's due to exposure to microplastics. You know about the microplastics? Oh, well, yeah. I didn't know what those were. But when I read about it, like, my first thought was like, you know, like those plastic 6-pack rings? I just imagined like microscopic versions of those, like floating around my sack, choking my little guys like sea turtles. All right, you do a better impression of a choking sperm. So these are good. My mom got an air fryer recently. She really likes her air fryer. I think she likes it more than she likes me, because she keeps saying these cryptic things like, Jack, I wish this air fryer was my son and not you. I don't know. This is seems like a room that likes fun facts. This is a fun fact. When you buy a plane ticket, there's like no rule about what you can put as like the prefix to your name on your ticket. You can put anything. So when I fly, I'm Reverend Dr. Jack Allen. But when I get on the plane, there's always an incident, like someone's being judged not by the content of their character, and they need someone to have a dream. They're like, is anyone a Reverend Doctor? And I just look down like, you're in the room up. It's a cool room. It's a cool room. Do we like smoking the weed? Like smoking the can of weed-awana? Over 420 truckers were spelunking all the way to Tucson and back. You know, things us pop mouths say when we're snorkeling the Great Barrier Reefer. It's cool that it's becoming like legal in more and more states, but I'm from Oklahoma, and there it's like medically legal. So, which means it's just legal if you have $100 for a doctor. Like when I went and got my card, my whole appointment lasted like 30 seconds. They were like, Mr. Allen, are you showing symptoms of having $100? We need to take a currency sample to the lab. Please PayPal into this cup. Need a magazine? I saw there was a comment there that 420 was in fact Hitler's birthday. So 428 was my birthday. So if you like my birthday more, you should celebrate on 428 your actual 420 and mail me some weed. It's not that illegal to do. No one cares. Mail me some weed. It's Russian 420. They do it. It's a whole since the schism. This is a historical reference. This is confusing. I like doing those. All right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can open up with this room. I'm sexually attracted to obscure dead presidents. The other day, I saw this hot MILF. You know, Millard, I'd like to fill more. He was the 13th president, but the first in my heart. So it's we're excited about the Millard film orchard. This is a good room. This is a good room. I'm totally just checking to see what exciting things I wanted to say next. I have a friend who just became a lawyer, and I don't think that like a law degree is like a safe degree to get, because like other subjects like, you know, like history, science, those aren't really going to change that much. But like your degree is based on like our system of laws. So you're basically one dictator away from your degree being useless. Like one crazy guy comes into power and like, well, you can't give closing arguments to a firing squad. I mean, you can. They're not that persuasive. Things are strange. Things are strange again. You guys familiar with the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the mass misremembrance of something. I don't know if anybody else, but you know where the term the Mandela effect comes from? I have this memory, but does anybody here have this? Does anybody here distinctly remember when Nelson Mandela fucked my mom? Anybody else? They're messing with the space-time continuum. All right, that's not the only Mandela effect. I'll give you another example. Like that famous Super Bowl halftime show. That famous Super Bowl halftime show with the wardrobe malfunction. I remember it distinctly, but I remember distinctly seeing Justin Timberlake's butthole. Yeah, it's there's some strange ones out there. Try checkmate libs. But you know, I don't know. Let's shift the tone. I don't know if there are any like women in the crowd. Doesn't seem like that many, but you know, chime in the comments if you're a lady. Will you give a chance to a guy if he doesn't have a bed frame? I don't know. Like a lot of women don't like it if a guy doesn't have a bed frame, but I like to show that I'm real successful. That's why I own 5 bed frames. That way, when the ladies come over to spend the night, we each get our own bed frame. There's one left over that we can break apart into firewood, roast marshmallows. I impress the ladies because I got a nice even hand with the skewer. You know how it is, fellas. A little slumber party action with your girlies. I still don't own a mattress, though. My back is fucked. Oh, man. Things are crazy, you know? Things are crazy. I have a couple of kind of political jokes, but I don't like to get too political up here. You can probably tell how I vote by looking at me. Like, I look like I subscribe to Bernie Sanders OnlyFans. It's 23 $7. Ship in. It's a grassroots platform. I look like that, but I have some more right-wing views. I have on a couple of things. I do. Like, I think that there should be a travel ban. Not like against Muslims or anyone, just against my mom's boyfriend who went to Belize 10 years ago and won't shut the fuck up about it. It's like, damn it, David. We know about the time that you saw monkeys by the pyramids in Belize. Monkey story was funny the 15th time, David, but your passport is revoked now. Stupid theater professor bitch. Big stepdad motherfucker. Man, things are pretty wild. Things are pretty wild out there, you know? I feel like I've gone to some strange places tonight, and I wanna talk to you about something that everybody loves, what you really want to hear about, and that is Animal Farm by George Orwell. All right, I know if there's one thing you're all clamoring for, it's Animal Farm by George Orwell. You guys just can't get enough of George Orwell's satirical novel that's an allegory for Stalin told with barnyard animals. You all love it. You all love his book. But nobody likes my book, Stalin House. It's the opposite. It's about Joseph Stalin doing barnyard things. Stalin's eating hay. He's laying eggs. Stalin's getting milked. Stalin and Leah and Trotsky are milking each other real good. That scene goes on like 120 pages. Where are my literary awards? I swear we're living in 1980 something or another. I don't know. I know things are kind of like bleak for some people, but like they're okay for me. Like I found out something interesting. I found out that next year I'm going to be fulfilling one of my dreams. I'm going to be teaching English abroad.
Wow.
In England. I'm going to show them how to say it good. It's not cinema, it's theater with an ER. And there are Godzillas fighting. I have a confession. I'm actually, it brings me to my next point, that last joke it does. I'm actually not original. I'm actually based on a British guy. His name is Jack Allenshire. My name's Jack Allen. He's a lot drier and more critically acclaimed, but he ended after 2 seasons of 6 episodes each, plus a Christmas special. I'm going to overstay my welcome by several years. Is anyone here into astrology? And a lot of people complain about astrology, but I think that it's going to get a lot worse. I think the way things are going in America in a few years, instead of identifying with constellations, we're just going to be like identifying with corporate brands. I'll give you an example. Like, I was born in April. That makes me a Microsoft. What are you? I'm a Costco rising sign and a Nike moon sign. Did you know that if you were born under the Exxon sun, you get 5% cash back at select gas stations? And people will like use this to like screw up their dating life too. Like, I'm sorry we can't be together. I'm a Target and you're an Arby's. It worked between us, unless of course the companies merge. And people like use it to excuse their asshole behavior when they're being moody. Like, I'm sorry I'm being such a bitch this week. Toyota-thon is in retrograde. I've got one more little thing I want to talk about. So do you know what the weirdest crime is? The weirdest crime is public urination. It's weird that you can go to jail for public urination. Because you think about it, jail is a place where you have to pee in front of people. So really, the punishment for public urination is public urination. The cops are basically like, you like pissing, huh? Well, now you gotta smoke this whole pack of piss. You like that piss, boy? Well, I'm Mark. I'm mispronouncing Mark. I'm mispronouncing Arkansas, Arkansas, the old French way. All right. Thank you so much. My name has been Jack Allen. Please follow me on TikTok and Instagram. For every follow that I get, I will take a generic Benadryl tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack Allen. Maybe follow him tomorrow. Maybe 2 or 3 people follow him tonight, and everybody follow him tomorrow. We want him to wake up and have a nice Tuesday. And remember, he performed tonight. I don't know. You can take a few Benadryl. I went through a panic attack. I took a Claritin at work, and then I came home and I took another Claritin. And for like 24 hours, I thought I was gonna die. And what happened was, it actually I felt better. Like I just needed to double dose the Claritin for my own allergies. So I looked it up. Apparently, it doesn't kill you because I'm still here, and that's how I proved it. That's what you do. We got one more comedian coming up tonight. Before I introduce him, I do want to talk about something. This means a lot to me. The new vice presidential candidate, Tim Walz. He did some work when he was working for the school system and when he was a governor, and he put tampons in all the bathrooms for men and boys. And I think that's a great thing. We have that at my work as well. All the men's bathrooms have tampons in them, which I think is great. I don't know if it's in all the women and the non-gender bathrooms though, because I shit standing up like a man with my hand over my chest facing the American flag. That's how I shit. Okay. No, we don't have any Patriots in here. Okay, our next comedian coming up. Super happy to have him back on the show. He's an exciting person and a good friend of mine, and I think he's less mobile this week. I think he's staying still. Staying still. He's always moving around, always on the road. But I'm happy he's stationary this time, and you get to enjoy him this week. Please welcome Pratik Srivastava.
Yo, everybody. Yeah. Real quick, give it up for Mark, Jack, Aaron, all the comics you saw today on the show. How about that? Keep supporting live comedy. Hells yeah. Or we'll Zoom comedy, not live. We don't. This is all pre-recorded. Yeah. Yeah. Who was here? Who was on last week? Make some noise if you were on last week. Who saw me last? That was a set. I mean, some called it chaos. Some called it, artistic endeavors. For those that don't know, I got off the train, the Greyhound. I was coming back from Cleveland. Got into a car, got into a shared Uber ride, and then proceeded to do 5 minutes in the Uber ride. Yeah. Because Greyhounds are very inconsistent, and I don't know. I think there's enough people yelling into their phone on the Greyhound bus. So I refuse to do that for them. They don't deserve that entertainment. But if you pay for an Uber pool in the middle of Chicago, you might get to see 5 minutes of my Zoom comedy for free. So that's that. I did end up getting a 5-star review for that ride. So but what about that? I don't have a 5-star rating, but overall cumulative. But for that ride, that was in the right direction. For those that know, a lot of difficulty on the shared ride apps. Pratik Srivastava probably has 3.3 stars, but Nick Patterson has 4.78. So how about that? That's what I do. I use a fake name on the apps. Does anybody else? Yeah, sound off in the chat if you use a false name or fake name or nickname for your Uber ride. And most likely none of you do. Evil Dave definitely does. I can tell. That is definitely. I know for a fact. I can tell Evil Dave. I see. We got CJ minus Nico. I don't see Nico. Oh wait, I do see. Wait, who do I see? Do I have it wrong? So I have Nico and there we go. There's CJ. So both of you are united. Okay, it's not like there's a thing in pro wrestling, because who would have thought I would have talked about pro wrestling on this set? But sometimes tag teams feud and break off. So I didn't know. I only saw Nico. I did not see CG. So oh no, is a feud happening? Are you guys gonna get a singles program? And pretty soon it's gonna be 2 separate screens in this.
There we go.
That's coming. Edward is now writing something about money laundering. So I'm so glad I'm here, because if it weren't for that, I would not learn about money laundering from Edward. That does sound like an amazing YouTube channel. Money laundering with Edward. If you want to learn about money laundering, it should be a guy named Edward. I think that is definitely the name of a money laundering educator. I didn't say someone who does money laundering. I'm talking about Edward is a good name for someone who wants to educate about the finer points of money laundering. Are people really mad about this whole I really believe the right wing is trying to just squeeze some sort of controversy out of Tim. Like Tim Walz, like he literally is. He is. There's nothing there. Like you're gonna go out. He's a high school football coach. There's so much to do with that. Like I knew some high school football coaches that were mad. Just be spending some time on that thing. Like high school football coaches. That's more of the controversy. But no, they're going after him for putting tampons in the boys' bathroom. Is that really a big deal? Like, do you know how many girlfriends I had to buy tampons and go down the aisle and spend a lot of money on tampons? Tampons are not cheap, by the way. I've had to actually, to some of the other people here who's had to buy tampons for either themselves or that. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like they're not. So if they were giving away free tampons in the boys' bathroom, I am pro that, right? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't have to spend any money, because that's the thing, right? Like some machines or certain bathrooms have like the tampon machine where you got to put in money, but I feel like most of the tampons I've seen in bathrooms that's free, right? Is that like the standard, or do you still have to pay for them generally? Like I think that's where the issue is, like is it free or is it not? Every time I've seen a tampon in a bathroom, it's been free. High school football coaches are the modern day civilian squad commanders. That is, red leader 1, 2 leader 1. I'm saying I get that. As long as you're a football coach, just don't watch the guys shower afterwards. I think that is a man. Don't do anything that creepy. And I'm not even trying to make it like there legit was this political candidate. He did a lot of local stuff in Illinois, but his name was Dennis Astor. Mark, Anthony, you might know who he is, but he famously he would get a chair from his office and turn it around so he could watch the guys shower. So just don't do that. Don't be creepy. We had the whole Sandusky thing 3-4 years ago. Don't be that. Just be a normal football coach. If you wanna scream at them and tell them you got to run 2-a-days and there's a little bit of hazing, that's fine. But don't watch them shower. Don't be a fucking creepo. All right. And this whole thing about bathrooms, I don't like it's so complicated now. You see these bathrooms. You know what I love about all these bathrooms that are multi-gendered, and it's great now because you can just go to town. You can dump however you want. There's no multiple stalls now. Most bathrooms are single use, which I prefer. Way easier to poop in because nobody else is there. Nobody's walking. I still remember a time when people would throw you into the girls' bathroom if you weren't a girl as a form of mockery. So this shit is great now. I wish I had this growing up. There were so many times I'd be running to go, usually diarrhea. I had a lot of diarrhea in high school. Somebody just went, oh, why are you mentioning that? Yes, diarrhea in high school is not pleasurable. Although if you're eating, first off, if you're eating during the show, I don't know what's only Jindak can get away with eating during this show. If you chose to eat during Chirping Bird Comedy, that's on you. That should be the disclaimer at the top of the show, like Jackass, hey, don't watch before eating. So if you're eating right now, I'm sorry, but I did have a lot of diarrhea in high school because again, I was a high school freshman in September of 2001, which none of you here have experienced that horror. So if the worst thing that came out, not the emotional trauma of racial scarring, no, I had a little bit of poopy in my stomach. All right. So that's the worst thing to come out of that. I missed the whole point of racial trauma. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, a little bit of diarrhea in the morning. I remember third period, I would always be like 10 minutes late. What I would do this thing where like I would go to the classroom first, put my stuff down, kind of check in with the teacher, and then I'd kind of shift off to the bathroom. And I would take like a good 10, 12 minute like shit break. Like it was wild, you know, like I missed like the first 12 minutes of class, but I was never there was nothing wrong with that because I hacked the system in that they just never bothered checking roll after I came in. Like they never bothered. They just did, oh, he's here. Okay. Yeah. Like then I was sitting in the back, so no one really noticed. And usually when I would come back in, they were always doing something, or, you know, teachers would have like their ego going where they were in the middle of their lecture. They were in lecture zone, you know, so they wouldn't pay attention to me. And again, freshman in September 2001, no one's looking out for what I look like. So I just scurry away and go to my seat. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And I was just like, oh yeah, why don't I just go to the classroom first? Whereas most people, when they go to the bathroom, they go in the middle of the passing period and then they show up and then they're late. Whereas I do the opposite. So it's on them. Figure out that hack, baby. It's pretty good. You too can miss 12 minutes of third period, if you know what I'm saying. He doesn't carry a gun during battle. All right, we are just that is a haiku if I've ever heard one. He doesn't carry a gun in the battle. Yeah. Yeah, Tim Walz is fine. I mean, just, you know, look, I mean, I can't wait for that debate though, because just it's gonna be hillbilly LG JD Vance. I mean, there's a Netflix movie about JD Vance. We know that, right? There's a goddamn Netflix. His wife is played by the Indian woman. She might be Pakistani. Don't quote me on that. I don't keep up with what people are. You know, I just see. I don't see ethnicities. I just see skin shades. That's all. It's not even skin color. Skin shades. You know what I mean? Like Mark Anthony is probably a -2 on the Home Depot paint scale. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you get shade points because you can handle more spicy food than me, and you work in IT, which I don't, and you have a wife. So you get shade points for that. And that Mark Anthony, if you guys don't know, is the Kevin Bacon of brown, South Asian, Middle Eastern people. He seems to know way too many. Somehow connected to Kim Dale from Soundgarden, which, first off, I didn't know Kim Dale from Soundgarden was one of my people. Oh, a brown dude from Oak Park, Illinois? Yeah, probably Indian. Okay, yeah. So I didn't fucking know that. It's wild. At least I'm entertaining. The people that are listening, you guys know what I'm talking about. And we got Bobby iPhone here, which is great. My #1 fan. Random iPhone is back. So, yeah, hell yeah. I'm glad there's some identifying characteristic. And this is cool. Jinda is still in his bucket hat from last week. I remember bucket hat. I mean, Jinda, you used to rock the noodle bowl. You should just put the bowl on top of your head instead of the bucket hat. It'd be the same thing. That might even look cooler, in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm not a fashionista. I'm just wearing a shirt that looks like a Persian rug. You know what I'm saying? I make fun of myself a lot. I was in Cleveland last week. Cleveland was cool. I walked into a Thai restaurant, and the immediate person, like the host, not even the host, but just like the manager, talked me at the door going, oh, Uber Eats, you have to go around here. And I get it. I know what I look like. Like, I am the final boss of every DoorDash Uber Eats delivery driver. I get it. And you might be saying, isn't that offensive? Doesn't that bother you? No, because now I'm not going to fucking pay for Thai food wherever I go. It's amazing. Oh, you're going to hand me food as I walk in? That's not theft on my part. That's their problem. They shouldn't assume. They're literally handing me food as I walk in. And I'm going to take it. I'll admit that on camera. I will take the food. You know, it's not my job to deliver. I never sign up for delivery. If they don't want to assume that I'm the final boss of Uber drivers, and let's be honest here, most Uber delivery drivers way less attractive than me. So that's what you want. You want the guys to be a bunch of unattractive motherfuckers. So if you can't tell the difference I'm sorry, Pete's Tie in Cleveland, Ohio. That's on you. You know, you're better off being like Rose's Tie in Canton, Ohio. Way better. I got food from both of those places. The Roses was a little better. Although Roses, it was a pad thai labeled for someone named Janice, and it was kind of mild. So I will say, I did have to go back and go, yeah, I think Janice wanted some extra chili sauce. You know, I did do that. I said that Janice wanted. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to pay for I think it's going to be another 10 months before I have to pay for pad thai. It's pretty amazing, you know. And I'll say this: the mark of a good Thai restaurant is equal to the number of staples on the receipt on the brown bag. Like, man, Thai restaurant, we're talking 10 staples on that receipt. Just, it's like a shootout poster. It's wild. Like, so many staples. And I am a little concerned. Like, it's to the point where there's so many staples that I'm worried about opening it up and actually getting, you know, a staple in the food and actually accidentally eating it staple. And maybe that's my karma for accidentally taking the Uber delivery drive order. But you know, it'd be wild, right? Is if I eat the staple, I pass away, but I do believe in reincarnation. And I guess what I reincarnated as another staple for another pad thai order. How about that? AR-15 staple guns. Yeah, but yeah, it's the thing. You know, there's so many bad guys with staple guns. You got to find the good guys with staple guns. You know what I'm saying? Or better yet, get a guy with the staple remover, with the thing that looks like the alligator thing. Yeah, you don't need to be a good guy. You just need to be a guy. Or it could be, you know, see, this is going to get snipped out and posted somewhere. He said that only male identifying people can remove staples. Anybody can remove a staple. You could be any sort of gender. You could be an alien. You could even be reincarnated as a staple and remove yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. I am holding a paper clip in my hand while I do my staple material. I think that fits. You know what I'm saying? It's not prop humor, although I did reveal what it is, but that's fine. Yeah, that is a cool staple. Little staple humor for you, paper clip. Problem is, the place I'm staying, they don't have the paper, like, you know, the clips for the little potato chip bags. So we just use paper clips. I think that's, I don't agree with that. I think that's very lazy. You know, if you're using a paper clip to clip your potato chip bag, that's like choosing a vice presidential candidate who has an Indian wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the JD Vance of ideas. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like, why is his wife like, look, I'm great. Everybody's like, aren't you happy to see brown people in the election? Sure, but I'd rather hear about some policies in the election. Like, I really don't care how well JD Vance cooks Indian food. That really doesn't bother me because I'm not going to go eat Indian food at his place. If I'm going to go there, I'm probably going to try the house-made ranch dressing because that's what I trust a guy named JD Vance to make, is house-made ranch dressing. All right, I want to know how your tender games are. Are you brisketing a pork roll or something? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, JD Vance? I don't want to hear how you're making chicken tikka masala. I really don't care. I know that's what he's making. He's not even calling it. He's calling it chicken tikka masala because that's probably what it is. That is a white people Indian dish. That was made for the white palate. It was an Indian guy who made it, but he made it 40 years ago. No, he made it in the 1940s, so it's been way more than 40 years ago. And it's so ingrained in the culture, even Indian people are like, sure, we'll eat it. Is the white guy paying for it? Okay, fine. Yeah, that's it. We don't go to Indian, like, Indian people won't go to Indian restaurants, but usually it's because we're trying to impress somebody at that restaurant and we're getting a discount there, or they have the mango ice cream that we actually like because so-and-so is actually working the kitchen that day. That's the other little secret. If you're trying to go to an Indian restaurant, you got to make sure the right guy's working behind the kitchen. Otherwise, your lamb vindaloo is going to be rubbery lamb. And you know what happens, Christopher, when you have rubbery lamb? You go down. That is terrible. You will go down harder than Joe Biden in the Tour de France. You know what I'm saying? Don't get you the rubbery lamb. Get the good lamb. You know, sometimes you got to go to Toronto to get the good lamb kebabs. So you can eat those kebabs and just fire off Niagara Falls. It's amazing. And yeah, sometimes Toronto does have There are certain Indian dishes that are better in Toronto than in India. All right, I'm sorry. And you know what else Toronto has that doesn't have in India? I can go to Toronto and not have to deal with my aunt giving me a guilt trip for not calling or using the WhatsApp app because I'm sorry that WhatsApp overheats my phone. Like, this phone is scorched like Anakin Skywalker, all right? I do not like that WhatsApp. I remove it, all right? I keep it for 2 days and then I remove it. So that's what I'm going to deal with when I fly to India. I got to pay for a flight that's over $1,600, and then I got to go to the Indian consulate to certify my visa. And I got to deal with when I go to the count, because it's not like I just go to India and they're like, oh, cool, you kind of look like us, you get in for free. No, it doesn't work like that. It's not like do you know how easy it would be if every dipshit frat boy could say, hey, go back to India, and I could just clap my hands and go to India? Like, that would be great. if some bully could just do that and I could go, that would be great. But that's not how it works. They can't just snap fingers and go. I got to go to the consulate. I got to talk to a guy named Darvesh who's eating terrible samosas with watery chutney that looks like Nickelodeon game slime. Like, it's terrible. And he's going to ask you a bunch of questions. Then he's going to go get his manager. There's no manager. It's just his cousin that kind of looks like him who comes out, and nothing actually gets done. And you end up missing 2 days of a wedding, but it's okay because it's 14 days. So you didn't miss much, all right? You only missed the tip, all right? All you did was circumcise your wedding trip. You know what I'm saying? Just the tip. I'm all right? It's okay. Last week you got to see me walk around. Today you get to see me have an asthma attack. It's all right. It's good. You're getting personal Pratik. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just wrote, hey, any recommended for hydrating beard? The hydrating beard, yeah. Do you put your tea tree oils? There's a tea tree shampoo that's really good for humidity. If you want to get Olaplex number 8, but you only got to put a little bit on. Don't put it's so funny because I'll do these shows and every female identifying comic in the green was like, whoa, you know what Olaplex number 8 is? I'm like, no, but I'm not putting I'm not just slathering my hair in this sauce of Olaplex. It looks like tahini sauce for hair, but it's not. It's like a conditioner, and it's a leave-in conditioner. So you take like a little pre-cum driblet of it, and all of you know what pre-cum driblet is. That is why all of you are on a Monday night show right now. So all of you know about pre-cum driblets. So you take this a tiny bit and you put it in your hair. And then there's another thing you can get for bedhead that I don't know the name of, but if you tune in next week, maybe I'll tell you what that is. So gotta come back to get the bedhead thing, You're not gonna get all the secrets in one sitting. I'm not doing a full hour here, all right? That's another brown comedian on KO Comedy, but not me. He's fine. He's great. He's doing well. I like him. I used to live with him actually. He's cool. No, he's fun. He will be actually. If you want to see us together, we will be. I don't know why I'm plugging in the middle of the set. This literally is like the Pulp Fiction of sets. I'm doing the ending plugs in the middle of the set. But yeah, we will actually be performing together. If you're anywhere near Austin, Texas, Cap City Comedy Club, November. He'll like this, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to actually send him this link, but he'll like this. November 20th and 21st, Cap City Comedy Club. I will be on those shows with Samuel Vade. So yeah, big surprise press release. Call your comptroller if you're in Austin, Texas. I know Austin is scary because of the Kill Tony stuff, but if you want to see actual no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna get written up by the Zoom bombers for that. We're gonna have a bunch of Zoom bombers speak Portuguese next time. Jesus Christ. We don't need that. That is still hilarious, by the way, that we had Nazi Zoom bombers speaking Spanish. Like, what other medium would you have that, like, hey, I'm a white supremacist, but I'm a bilingual white supremacist? What the fuck does that mean? It's the way of the world, everybody. But yeah. So, if you want to see those shows with Sammy, it'll be good. I know he's on tour right now. I think he's even got some stuff on the West Coast. So yeah, this is my West Coast symbol. So yeah, check out his website, support that. He does speak Espanol. I speak little Espanol. I speak better than Peggy Hill from King of the Hill. I'll say that though. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. It's just good to be out traveling again. I took a little time off. I had to help out at home with a little bit of family stuff. Everybody's good. Family's okay. I know there were a couple weeks where you're like, where is he? Well, but things are okay right now. It's been good to spend time with family. I will say though, like my family annoys me like at times. So even though like, but it's not like that thing where I'm like, I'm going to shit on them and expose their secrets for the purpose of my profit and comedy gain. No. I'm annoyed by them. I get to make fun of them. But if you make fun of them, I turn into a Vietnam War veteran. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you weren't there, man. You don't get to talk about this. I get to talk about this. You know what my hamburger hill was? My hamburger hill was made out of grilled cheese sandwiches during hot lunch day because I wasn't allowed to eat hamburgers. All right, that's my And then I would get chased around the recess schoolyard with someone taking their hamburger from McDonald's and moving it at me, even though, as we've learned, there's no actual beef patty in the McDonald's patty. Bully didn't know that. So he was just moving it at me like some sort of weekend at Bernie's with cows. You know what I'm saying? Like, just moo. Yeah, bullies were idiots. Yeah, there were two of them. I think their names were Jason Hummel and Brad Grayson. Actual names, by the way. Look them up.
Yeah, get them.
I don't. Somebody was like, you probably shouldn't use their actual names. I'm like, well, they probably shouldn't have been assholes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, what's going to happen? Cars.com is going to lose 2 managers. Oh, no. What will the world do? By the way, that is not true. They are not managers for Cars.com. They are unpaid interns for Cars.com. Yeah. I use actual names. Well, you can look it up. If you somehow procure a Glenbard South 2001 yearbook, I'm referring to real names of people, by the way. Yeah, I do not give a fuck. They can come find me. Send me. Oh no, the worst thing ever. Oh, you used my name in a thing. You kicked me in the nuts. All right, so I don't care. I can still procreate though. In case anyone was wondering, in case you had concerns about my reproductive abilities, I will tell you even though I was kicked in the nuts, I have had 3 different pregnancy scares, so I know what I'm doing. I am very fertile, everyone. Brandon appreciates it. I think Christopher is horrified. And Edward is left. I have somehow scared off Edward, everyone. That's the new achievement for Chirping Bird Comedy. That's like reaching the high score, and then you put ass in the high score. I scared off Edward. You go, oh, he's back. Thank God. And at one point, CJ and Nico were there was nobody. There was 0. There was just the and symbol. I think when none of you are there, it's just and. Yeah. But no, you guys are back. Edward has a Oculus on, either that or that is a skin graft of his victim. I don't know what's going on there. And I'm sure the victim is very nice. Jinda is still present. That's good. Hopefully noodles were enjoyed today, Jinda. That's fun. Nikki, I do remember Nikki, and I do remember Della. I've probably seen their faces once, maybe back in the day. I've seen you guys used to show your face a little bit, but we'll see. And then I love Kevin Galvez. Is just we get a face at least, but you're not. We're no actual movement. So basically, Kevin Galvez is stuck in purgatory. That's what that is.
Yeah. Aww.
I don't know what purgatory is. Maybe it's Arizona. Maybe it's not. I don't know. And then Evil Day. Oh, look who joined the party. We got coming in hot. Mike Eckert from the couch. Everybody. Whoa. I'm proud to say that when I do the show now, Mark gives me full. This is a little behind the scenes tidbit, but Mark makes me co-host. So when I perform on Chirping Bird Comedy, I get to let people in and also remove people, baby. I got the power. Yeah, you ask your questions, make your ISIL comments or whatever you want to make in the chat, because I got the power now. Mark could probably just let you back in, but I have the power for a little bit. So the reason originally I was not gonna close out the show, and I was gonna go see that Josh Hartnett trap movie, but then they added a late showing, so You got me headlining because of that. So give it up for AMC A-List for allowing to having a late. That literally was the reason I was like, oh, I might have to leave early. Yeah, because I want to see that new movie Trap, but they have a 9:30 showing, so I'll be A-okay. You guys, you're getting the full set. You're getting your Chirping Bird money's worth, baby. Yeah, you're getting the full set. Yeah. So okay, we're gonna do a thing in the chat. I'm gonna talk about one thing right now. But while I'm doing this one joke, if you have a topic that you want me to talk about, like put that in the chat. All right. I'm giving you a little bit of choose your own adventure, which I never do ever. So if you want me to talk about something specific, put that in the chat while I make this next while I spin this next yarn, if you will. Yeah. I've been doing a lot of traveling. I was in New York. And it's funny because my parents told me if you go in New York, you should travel in New York, but don't ride your bike in New York. And Mike Eckert, it is very serious. I shouldn't ride my bike in New York City, but I did. I disobeyed the parents, everyone. And I'm talking about my actual parents, not Mother Nipple Bottom pretending to be my mom. I know we remember that scandal controversy from the 6 to 8 months ago. That might even have been last year. I don't know. But yeah, I know there was some controversy.
It's ongoing. It hasn't stopped, I'll be honest.
Oh, it still comes up? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, isn't it wild? Like if you leave the chat, but if you leave the show, but your name is in the chat, like I still have like people's names, but they've left the chat. Isn't that wild? Like, I guess, so who's it going to go to if I message them? It's going to go into the ether because they're gone. They're no longer in the show. So that this Zoom is very interesting. Yes. And it is good to know that Mother Nipple Bottom is Mother Nipple Bottom on the Twitch. What have they been saying on Twitch real quick?
Groove Salad DM is loving it. They love the bully shaming.
Oh,
Mixed Skins is there.
Mixed Skins, best Twitch name ever. Mixed Skins.
Liam Green Jacket is here. Unknown 420.
Liam Green Jacket sounds like a Oasis cosplayer. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that is. Liam Green Jacket. Yeah. Mother Nipple Bottom is not here tonight. Oh well.
I don't think so.
Man, all right, we're done. Click. No, no, we're not doing that. No, it is wild that Mother Nipple Bottom is still active. I mean, when you have a name like Mother Nipple Bottom, like that's the stuff of legend. It's like Mother Nipple Bottom. That sounds like either a vape pen flavor or I don't know what else. Mark can come up with it now. Okay, so Twitch is having a little fun with the bully stuff. All right, so we'll tell the New York story. We did get a couple things. My favorite Monopoly piece is the boot. Okay. That was not a question. That was in reference to me having control of booting. My favorite Monopoly piece, not that anyone bothered to ask that question. But my favorite Monopoly piece is, you guessed it, the race car. Yeah, I probably look like a race car loving motherfucker, and you are correct. I do love the race car. Yeah. I did dabble in the iron from time to time. If the race car was taken, I would go iron. Although to me, it looked like a flip-flop. It looked like the flip-flop that immigrant parents hit their kids with. I was not hit by any sort of flip-flop. I'm proud to say I did not get punished with any sort of physical violence. I know it's very common for people of my skin complexion to joke about in their stand-up set that my parent hit me, and my white friend, he got sent to his room with no dinner, and he got to play his Xbox all day long. White people are so different than us. Comedy. I was not hit. I'm proud to say that. But what I did get, which I am still jealous of all my white friends growing up, because they would have the go to dinner, just eat the dinner, go to your room, eat the dinner in your room. Because what I got was eat dinner while lecturing. Like there was no going to your room. That was a privilege to go get privacy in your room. What's that? No. We had dinner and lecturing. If you weren't getting yelled at while eating, you were not in the Sravasta household. Like you could not eat without some level of either lecturing or yelling, or not even yelling to do, but drive-by yelling, which is where my parents would yell at another person while at the dinner table. So it was like, it was like like the bullets were steering off into me. So I'm getting the secondhand yelling, even though it doesn't affect me, which on paper sounds not that bad. I assure you, when you're trying to eat pasta al forno while, and you're twirling it, and then you're just hearing how, you should have done this. Pradeep does this. Oh, but he doesn't do that. And then lo and behold, I'm getting drive-by yelled at because when my mom was trying to compliment me, but then my dad was like, wait, but he didn't do that. Because in anger world, you're yelling at your one kid, but then you remember, oh, wait, the other kid didn't do that. Oh, let's remind him, and let's remind him while he's eating. While I'm doing that great bodily function called digestion, that's what I need to do. I need to remember that I didn't take out the garbage Tuesday. Yes, while I'm digesting. That's just as bad as me talking about diarrhea on this show while somebody was probably eating. Yes, that is the equivalent of that. I'm sure nobody was actually eating, so we figured that out. I have met has met Mother Nipplebottom, and she's very cool. That's good to know. I look forward to meeting Mother Nipplebottom as well. I look forward to meeting the entire Nipplebottom clan. I'm sure they're wonderful people. When your name is Nipplebottom, when your family crest is Nipplebottom, which first off, if there's a family crest out there that says Nipplebottom, I want to see that immediately. All right. I'll probably have to pay extra for it though. It's probably on can't see that crest anyway. The same night I met Judah, actually. I met Judah too in person. Yeah, in case you weren't wondering. Yeah, saw him we got to share the stage at the Stand Club in New York City. I know this is just a big old flex now for all the KO headliners I've worked with. But yes, I have met Judah as well. Not met Nipplebottom, but I'm sure that is coming one day. I did meet a few of you Zoom dwellers in person, and I look forward to meeting more of you. I know Evil Dave has talked about coming to a show, and I do hope the rest of you get to come to a show at some point too. So yeah, you have my Instagram scheduled, and I'll put it in the chat as well. But yeah, if you want to see me perform, I am doing live shows. If you support some of the other well-known comics on this KO brand, Sammy Obeid, I know we're doing some shows together, but yeah, we'd love to see you in person. I want to meet all of you shut-ins. I think that's important that I get to see you out in the open, and I know we're all out and we're not just breathing in fluorescent lighting and asbestos. Like let's do a park meetup or something, let's just FaceTime at Echo Lake Park and handle something. We'll do something. We'll meet all of you. Bring your paper clips, bring whatever the hell you want. Somebody wrote, I think somebody was asking me, yes, is your family excited for a South Asian candidate, or is it no big deal? That's a very good question, Brandon. Very good question, Brandon. It's funny because everybody's like, Radik, it's Auntie Kamala. Auntie Kamala. Aren't you excited for Auntie Kamala? And I never understood the phrase Auntie Kamala. But then last week, I was eating dinner and my dinner got interrupted by Auntie Kamala asking me for money. And I'm like, oh, this sounds exactly like my auntie. So that is just like my relatives, you guys. Yes. Asking me for money in the middle of dinner. You got me there. We did not like that. I could tell you guys were not a fan of that. They enjoyed that though this weekend. So I will now retool that joke because Zoom was not a fan of that. Yeah, I'm not like excited. I mean, it's great. Oh, diversity, inclusion, yay. I mean, I'm happy for the community, but at the same time, again, policy is more important than, Usha Vance, my husband can cook Indian food. I do not care. Which by the way, I see Usha Vance, I see JD Vance, and it's so wild because they look like, my younger sister is also dating a white man. Usha and JD look like older versions of my younger sister and her romantic partner. It literally looks like Ghost of Christmas Future. It's fucking wild. And the sad thing is he's not a hillbilly. He's a very nice guy. They're all very good people, but just physically in the way they look, they just look like, hey, you took my younger sister and you just aged her 10 years. So it is wild seeing them. I just imagine somewhere out there's like a Manoj Vance out there, like Usha's like brother, and he's like super into JD, so he just took on JD's last name. He's like, I'm the brother-in-law, but I'm going to take my brother-in-law's last name. So I'm team Manoj Vance. I don't know where that guy is, but I want to believe in him. I believe in that guy. I'm not going to vote for him for anything, but I believe in him. I will support him going, running around touring college campuses and yelling at kids, because that's the new thing that I'm seeing my whole algorithm YouTube feed is conservatives yelling at college kids on campus. Yeah. That to me, that's the new pro wrestling of politics, is watching a bunch of college kids scream at conservatives, and they're not. And here's the beautiful thing: nothing is actually being solved in it. It is literally just a shouting match. It is worse than CNN, because I mean, you watch CNN and it's like, I'm the former head of the CIA. I'm a guy who has my own news network, and I rent out trucks to gas stations, and we're just going to shout at each other. Oh, how are we going to fix the economy? Rah, rah, rah. And it literally is, it's like a Mortal Kombat screen. Just everybody's just yelling at each other. Nothing is getting done. It's hilarious. It's also very depressing, because it's like, yo, can we have any sort of common dialogue? Like, remember back in the day when debates were like, ha, 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 I dare I say, are you right? No. I am, like classic, debating from the back in the day. We have none of that now. It is just shouting matches. There's punching involved. It's hilariously entertaining, but it's also like, it's like laughing. It's like if they did stand up while the Titanic is sinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're laughing, but we're all going down. So it's just wild that's what my algorithm now is, just college kids yelling at conservatives, but nothing is actually being done. No one's having a healthy dialogue. And then it's like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to keep watching this, but I can't stop watching it, right? I'm talking about question mark? Like, I cannot. I'm just like, oh, I'm salivating over just like people yelling at each other, huh? And maybe I'm salivating over because of all the arguments that were had while I was eating dinner. Huh. I guess we just figured out my family trauma. That's what that is. Everybody full fucking circle, I could have done all this on a BetterHelp therapy call, but instead of doing it with you guys, because it saved me a lot of money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, Mark Anthony?
Yeah.
I think I've scared everybody now. Like, we had a group for a second, and then it got a little therapy, but then I made fun of. But it's not therapy, because I'm satirizing therapy, and I'm satirizing how BetterHelp.com really is. The jokes always work better, by the way, when I explain them, as we know. So that's the history of that's comedy 101. You explain the jokes. No, I'm satirizing BetterHelp therapy because it's not actually great therapy. If you use it, I'm not trying to make fun of you, but I had terrible. It is, to me, my experiences are, it is the Southwest Airlines of therapy. I'm sorry. It really is. It literally feels like I'm putting in a quarter to see a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic go, can I help you with your family trauma? Huh? That's literally what it feels like. And then again, I tried it. I went through 3 therapists on BetterHelp.com. We're talking 3. Yeah, count them. Triple threat. I think I did 3 to 4 sessions with each of them, and we tried. We didn't just do one. And the first therapist I used, within 2 sessions, they were like, I need to take a break. You're giving me anxiety. So apparently, I was too anxious for the therapist. So is that like when you punch like the boxing machine and it just falls over? Did I win? Did I get the high score? What did I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, ba-bing, and it just goes down. You know what I'm saying? So that was what that was. Then the other person would be 10 minutes late to every session. So after 4 sessions, I'm like, I've lost out on 40 minutes now, because we're taking 10 sessions. That's literally each session's 40 minutes. I have now lost an entire session. Am I going to get that for free? They said, well, you gotta talk to somebody. So I talked to someone. They gave me a promo code, so I started the next therapist. And that person looked like Fat Fred Durst, you guys. Yes. And by Fat Fred Durst, I mean regular Fred Durst of today. Yes, yeah. And I'd rather he would have just told me to break some stuff, because he did not, which that, by the way, I've found to be very soothing, is these, they have these rooms now, rage rooms, where you can actually pay money and go to them and actually break stuff. And I think that's a great use of time. You can destroy things that are already going to be demolished. It's not like you're just going to Jinda's house and breaking Jinda's. You're not just doing that. No, you're going to a secluded, designated area. They get donations of things, and you can go and you can smash some stuff. If you're mad about something, you can do aggression. You could go do that at a boxing gym. I'm well aware. You could do that too. But when you go to the boxing gym, you got to have CNN on loop, and no one wants to watch that. and you got to use somebody else's boxing gloves, and it smells. And there's a very attractive woman there, but she's mad about probably her boyfriend or something, and you're just there and you're trying to work out your kicks and your punches, but you don't know the entire routine yet. You've not been part of Ahmet's Kickboxing 101, so you're a little self-conscious. I would rather go to a rage room, take a little bath, and just hit some stuff. Just pinata style, a bunch of electronics that probably are from, a bunch of startup companies that ran out of money because they had to buy Papa Shot, but we don't have health insurance. We have Papa Shot, Mark Anthony. You probably know.
We work there together. Yeah.
It's almost like those companies were trying to win the day, but all they did was lose their employees. From Twitch, Mixed Skins. Does he have a Mandela effect? I don't know. Is this in reference to me or?
Yeah, I was submitting topics on Twitch.
Yeah. Does he have a Mandela effect? An example. Have I experienced a Mandela effect? Yes, I do have a Mandela effect experience, and that was I swear that when I was in fourth grade, I saw an ad for a movie about a bunch of insects living in an apartment with a guy named Joe, and everybody's telling me that this ain't a real movie. Lo and behold, it's a real movie, but it did so bad on Rotten Tomatoes that nobody refuses to believe me. But it's a real movie. Joe's Apartment, starring Jerry O'Connell.
I remember that movie.
It's a real movie, and nobody believes me. Taco Bell did the whole ad campaign for it with the Chihuahua Godzilla. Remember Chihuahua Taco Bell? He was like, here, losers. Which, by the way, who did the voice for the Chihuahua from Taco Bell? Same guy who did the voice for Rocco's Modern Life. Yeah, that guy. same guy. I think it's a white guy who does a really good, Mexican accent, and maybe he's half Mexican. That's why it wasn't racist, and nobody called him out on it. But yeah, Joe's Apartment is a real movie, but nobody believes me. So that's my Mandela effect. Is nobody believes that I legit saw this movie, and it's a real movie. Some of you might have heard of this movie, but nobody believes me. So I know that's not the exact example of Mandela effect, but that is, in my case, I feel like I'm in a prison. So that's my Nelson Mandela effect, you guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I am going to joke about Nelson Mandela. His granddaughter was on a Zoom show I did 3 years ago. We did a thing for the U.S. Embassy, and I guess his granddaughter was on it. And she said, I enjoy your, she messaged in the chat. This sounds like the weirdest flex ever. I can tell Christopher and Mike Eckert are like, wait, what? Yeah, maybe this is the real Mandela effect, is me assuming I met Nelson Mandela's granddaughter on a Zoom show. And maybe that didn't actually happen. Ooh, you don't know. But yes, I was on a Zoom show for the U.S. Embassy. This was years ago. And she was in the crowd or in the little Zoom chat and chatted directly to me. I like that your beard matches your red jacket. And that is true. I actually wore a red blazer and pajama pants underneath it. This is true. But if you don't believe me, that is your Mandela effect. That's what I will say to that. In the meta horizon, they would have that. And your wrist controllers feel like you're hitting something. My wrist controls like this, my gesturing. I'm an animated guy, Edward. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, you mean in the VR world, my wrist controls. Maybe if you put on everybody, get your Oculus goggles now and put them on, and you might see something extra in my little world here. It's like when you had to put on the extra glasses, the 3D glasses, because you might see a bigger picture. Well, put them on right now, and you might see something you're not supposed to see. Ooga booga. You know what I'm saying? This is deteriorated just like the U.S. voting system. You know what I'm saying, everybody? That's what this entire thing was. It was a metaphor for the Electoral College. You know what I'm saying? Yes. We are now getting Joe's Apartment trivia.
Yes.
We have reached the apex, Mark Anthony. I almost feel like last week felt like more chaos, but this feels like that was controlled chaos. This is just chaos. I do feel like last week was fun because you got to see the comics that, for those of you that weren't on last week, I was standing at one point out of the Uber in front of a comic club, and comics would walk by, and I'd go, "Hey, good to see you, buddy." And I knew, like, there was one guy I knew. The rest of them I didn't know, and I just acted like I knew them. And then I would tell the audience, I don't really know this person. And they all loved that. Whereas right now, there's nobody here. So I know everybody in this room. It's literally just a bunch of headphones. It's not like there's anybody in the corner of the bedroom. There used to be people that would be on in my bedroom when I was doing these shows, but not anymore. It's just me in here. Or maybe there is somebody. What am I gonna show you? No, there's nobody in here. It's fine. Yeah, these headphones are decent. I broke my other headphones recently, and I got these. I bought these over the Black Friday last year, and turns out they don't have noise canceling on them. They do this thing though, which is pretty cool, but which my other headphones did. My other headphones did not collapse, which is just like the set, collapsing inwards. You know what I'm saying? All right, we need to find some way to wrap this up, Mark.
Take it home. We gotta take it home.
Take it home. I'll take it.
We're already at home.
Which, by the way, again, appreciate you guys that you're still supporting the show. I mean, this might be one of the longest running Zoom shows ever. So how about a hand for that real quick before we land this plane? You guys are supporting one of the longest running Zoom shows. It's literally, I think it started the week of the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken. Check with Drew Breekler on that. No, we'll wrap up here with this. And I did say, if you have any topics, somebody's wrote, where is the elephant? Yeah, there used to be a toy elephant in this room, but we got rid of it. That's the real elephant in the room. Is there used to be an elephant here and now it's gone. We don't talk about why it went gone. No, I'll tell you. I'll actually tell you. I'll tell you next week. How about that? If you want to know where the elephant went, I will tell you next week. It'll be or you know what? If you want to subscribe to my Patreon, I do have a Patreon, by the way. If you want to subscribe to it, I will literally just message you whatever you want. So if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, I will tell you. But it's going to cost you like $4.99. But if you wait till next week, it's free. So it's just like when you try to deposit money in your thing and it says, "Oh, if you wait like 1 to 3 business days, free," or if you want it now, you got to pay. That's exactly how I'm treating all communication with my fans. If you want something now, pay. If you want next week, you gotta wait a little bit. So I will tell you next week free, or join the Patreon. I will send you a video immediately explaining what happened to the controversial elephant that used to be in this very room.
Wow.
There's a lot there, a lot to unpack. Yeah. All right, I do see if you do have. That's the callback to Jack Allen. I didn't watch that set, so look at me constructing something out of nothing. That's not even improv. That's just self-inverse trauma. That's all that is. Yeah, unfortunately, I did not catch that set, but Jack is very funny. So shout out to Jack. Did not see the set though, unfortunately. But there really is a controversy with the elephants. If you want to learn more, gotta tune in. Lo and behold, I tell everybody to tune in, then I just don't show up next week. That of course would probably happen, but it's not going to happen. I guarantee it. Just like Zimmerman, not the murdering Zimmerman, but the suit monger. Yeah, there are two different George Zimmermans, you guys. There was a suit monger and a murderer. And I am quoting the suit monger because I support suit mongers. Suit monger sounds like a racial slur, but it is not. Right?
It does.
But it really does. Suit monger. It sounds like a vape pen or a racial slur, which that's a new segment we're doing next week, everyone. Tune in next week to Chirping Bird. Racial slur or vape pen flavor? Which one is it? You gotta tune in. I'm guiding planes right now. That's what I'm doing. All right, we'll wrap up with this. I'll tell you this quick story, and then we'll wrap up. Sound good, everybody? You're here for your yarn. If you do have other questions, I'll put them in the chat, and we'll answer them next week. We will keep the Q&A portion alive on this show. All right. All right, we'll leave you with this. I'm a big fan of. I do have annoying family members. If you have annoying family members, sound off in the chat. I have these two cousins. They fucking suck. Yeah. They aren't fun. Not cool people. They ruined dinner one day, because we try to have family dinners. I'm back in, my hometown. I'm seeing family a little bit, running into the bullies as well. Gotta do that hometown shit. Go hang out with somebody in their jacuzzi, go see someone in the movie theater, talk to my old teachers. No, run into bully. That course has to happen. Yeah, that needs to happen. So annoying. But yeah, the cousins are in town. They like to get us some samosas, which I like samosas. Again, if you get the right chutney, if you get the non-watery chutney, if you get the thick chutney, the green chutney, the red chutney, it just looks like period blood. Not a fan of it. I would stick though the free Tim Walz tampons in the red chutney period blood. You got to soak it up. So that was a good callback. All right, I literally we're literally like a David Lynch movie. I brought it back to the Tim Walz tampons. You're not appreciating it. You should. I call back my own set all the time. I'll even do callbacks for things I didn't even talk about in the set. That's how much of a callback it is. But the red chutney is like period blood, so you stick your free tampons in that. Green chutney is good. Samosas are fine. Samosas are not the tampons for Indian people. We actually use tampons in India. I don't know what JD Vance's brother-in-law was telling you. The Indian people don't use tampons. No, we use actual tampons. It's okay. We don't use samosas as the tampons. That's disgusting. I don't mean to go there. Samosas are for food, which we do. So you get your samosa from your restaurant, but you gotta be careful. Got to be careful where you get your samosas from. Sometimes they don't come from good restaurants. I'll tell you, I got this samosa. It was from my cousins. They came home. I bit into the samosa, and the samosa collapsed like the U.S. dollar, you guys. It's just terrible. And that is a Finance 101 joke, all right? 2.7 GPA from DePaul University, all right?
Yeah.
I know what the fuck I'm doing, okay? I get this samosa. It's terrible. And it's all over the beard. Do you remember preschool because I'm asking all of you grown adults to remember preschool for a second. But remember when you took the pine cone and you rolled it up and all those things? That's what my beard looked like. It looked like a preschool art project. It was disgusting, right? So preschool is going wild on my beard. I have this half-eaten samosa. I asked my parents and I asked my cousins, the whole family, they're sitting there. And I ask them, where did you get these faulty samosas from? And they say they got them from this new Indian restaurant called Gandhi's Palace. There is an Indian restaurant out there somehow in some working genius that is an Indian restaurant named after Mahatma Gandhi. And I ask you, why? Why are you naming a restaurant after a man on a hunger strike? He knows nothing about food. That's like going to a strip club named after Mother Teresa. It doesn't make sense, you guys. But if you want to find me tomorrow, I will be performing at Mother Teresa's Palace in Secaucus, New Jersey. Samuel Bate isn't going to be there. Jack Allen will not be there. Mark Anthony will not be there. Random Elephant will not be there. But I will be there. The world champion, probably not going to be there. But I will be there. So come out tomorrow. Live in person. All shut-ins are welcome. Well-hung Hungarians are welcome. Free tampons are welcome. The chutney that looks like period blood is not welcome. Jinda's bucket hat is welcome. Jinda's noodle bowl is welcome. Evil Dave is welcome. The guy who was masquerading as the iPhone, they are welcome. Mother Nipple Bottom pretending to be my mother is welcome. Actual Mother Nipple Bottom is welcome. Any Nipple Bottom is welcome. The family crest of Nipple Bottoms is welcome. The and symbol of CJ and Nico, the and symbol is welcome. the lifeguard from the Olympic swimming competition who did nothing during the entire competition. He is more than welcome. He can be the lifeguard of the comedy event. I know comedy events don't need lifeguards, but he can lifeguard at the event. That is an open invitation to this person. Everybody is welcome. So you come out to Gandhi's Palace tomorrow and you might have a good time.
Yeah.
I've been Sevastava, and this has been a fantastic, slightly chaotic, at the end of the day, a very good campaign speech. And this has been a great town hall meeting. Thank you so much.
Yeah. One more time for Pratik, everybody. One more time. Subscribe to his Patreon as well. I do want to thank Jack. I do want to thank Aaron as well. And all of you for coming out, even Ampersand themselves. I should rename you guys back because I don't. If I rename you here, if you go join like a work meeting, does it keep the same old name? I don't know. Just check into that before you sign on. We'll be back here next week. I can't remember everyone who's booked. I know Aladar Sky is coming back next week, so stay tuned. She hasn't been on in a hot minute. And Christopher, is that the regular Christopher? You look very different. I don't know if this is a new Christopher. I'm having like a Mandela effect here.
Yeah, it's me.
Normally wear a hat. Did you like shave or something? I'm like very confused. I thought I knew what you looked like, and now I have no idea what you look like. We'll sort this mystery out next week. Thanks for coming out. See you all soon. Have a good week.
Thanks, Mark.
Bye. Good night. Bye. 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 There we go. Done streaming. There we go.